Hi, Jenny.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thank you for having me back.
We didn't get to do a date this time.
I know. I was devastated personally, but I don't want to make a big stink about it because then I come off crazy, So
I've been stealing all his time, Jenny. I'm doing a TV show on Kevjet, so, he's a little distracted.
as you should. He deserves a TV show.
Thank you.
Have you met him? Hello.
I'm afraid so.
She's been spending time at my house this week.
I love it. Good for her. Are you feeding her well?
I am.
I just want to say that there's Baileys in the coffee. Am I allowed to say that? That can get edited out if necessary.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. How does it feel to be back?
I love it. Honestly, it's been such a fun experience. It's my third year doing this as the In-Square host. And I was never nervous to do it. But this year, above all years, I wasn't nervous because I was more excited than anything. I was looking forward to this happening.
You have a different energy this year.
It's giving Energizer Bunny delusional confidence. That's all you need. If you have delusional confidence, then you're confident.
I need to write that down.
So it's been great. Meeting people is great. It's always amazing to network. It's always amazing to see the Canadian bands and the Canadian food and just people from across the world visiting London, happening to be here on a weekend. They don't even know what's going on, and now they're learning about Canada. How cool is that?
Speaking of excitement, there are a lot of people watching who will be excited to see you because they were your fans on Canada's Ultimate Challenge. How did that experience prepare you for being so relaxed on stage here at Canada Day in London?
Well, I feel like when I was on the TV show, it was so fun. I was the only player from Ottawa on the show. It was an incredible experience. I got to travel across the country and compete in challenges, and it was just the best ever. I think the comfortability of being on camera, because the producers told me that too. They're like, you're so easy on camera. You're so comfy on camera. And I think that comes from my CFL background in cheerleading. You do a lot of appearances. You're in the community a lot. You're meeting people. You're networking. You're doing all of these things. And so it was that, I think, that provided me with that comfortability to just chat. I'm a people person. I love meeting people, and having a camera there or not, I love connecting. And so if people back home get to see me connect with you guys, great.
Beautiful. Well, I do a show called Showing Up, and that's what Showing Up is about for me. It's about authenticity. And here I am. And I'm not putting on a mask. I'm just actually here, my true self, ready to connect with you. And that's what you are, a connector.
Thank you. And it is so important, right? I think in the world, I love the world of social media. Some people hate it. I love it because it can be a blessing and it can be a curse. I choose to look at it as a blessing. I feel like social media can be a place where people feel very overwhelmed or like they're comparing themselves to other people, only if they're following people that make you feel that way. And so my big thing is being myself. I post the good, the bad, the ugly on socials, and I am very much myself. And if you like it, amazing. I like it too. It's a personal diary.
I love it, and I love your energy.
Thank you.
And that's why you're here for the third year.
That's why I'm here for the third year. I guess that's why you're here. It's been really great. So I think that showing up authentically is an important part of it. I think that's what I'm trying to do every year when I'm here. It's what I try to do whenever I meet people, and I love that you have the same perspective and the same values. That's amazing.
Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful energy with us. You've just got this zest or this joie de vivre, a little bit like someone I know.
I'm going to add that to my Instagram profile. Zest. Joie de vivre, Jenny.
Do it. Do it.
Joie de vivre, Jenny. Ooh.
And you know what? We'll see you next year.
Gotta be a soft J, Jenny.
Next year.
We're going to go on a date next year again.
Okay. Don't gotta tell me twice.
You heard it here. I kind of loved the idea that the moment you arrived on stage, it was like you owned it effortlessly.
It's a lot of practice, especially we've all been playing together for so long. Paul get his leg up, do a bass guitar kick. Callum's get his arms going on the drums. A lot of practice.
I want to hear Paul sing, actually, because I missed that part.
You want to hear me sing right now?
It's Malone.
And now it chills me to the bone. How do I get you alone? How do I get you alone?
I'd be happy to know I wasn't really singing along. I was lip syncing.
I wish you did. I wish you did sing.
Yeah.
I wish you did.
How much fun was that today?
We've been looking forward to this show for months since we moved here. Just hoping we could get on the lineup. And luckily, John, who runs it, I reached out to him. Yeah, big shout out to John.
Actually, do tell me, how much do you love John?
Oh, man.
So much. I sent him, I pretty much just shotgun blasted an email out to him, and he gave me a call, and he's like, we got to figure out a way to get you on. So he called me a few months before and said, we did it. You guys are opening. We got it. And we've just looking forward to it ever since.
There may or may not have been a little celebration.
A little bit.
Kev, do you want to know how in tune they are? Do you notice this? Okay, ready? On your mark, get set, switch. I thought that might happen. Thank you guys so much for being here. It was really a wonderful start to the day. The energy you brought on the stage. And is that energy you have to pump yourselves up to, or when you get out there, is it just natural?
I think it's definitely a more natural thing, especially because we've been looking forward to this one for so long. You kind of build it up by yourself, and then by the time you get out there, you're ready to just let it loose and have as much fun as you can.
Yeah. Also, like, anytime I'm on stage with these guys, like, I don't know, it's just a special feel. Like, we've been doing this for so long that it's like, it's great. This is the coolest thing we've ever played as a group by far. Canada, UK. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Canada, UK, like, this is the coolest thing we've played. But I think we've said this from the beginning, like, when we all play on stage together, there's just like a special chemistry that it's just like, it works, man. Like, we feel good. We have fun. We can like joke around and I don't know. It's just a lot of fun. It reminds me of being in the classroom and not paying attention.
It seems to me that, brothers is obviously in the name of your band, but it does seem, although there are only two siblings, it seems like you're a band of brothers.
Yeah, I think
Adopted.
in a way, yeah, I make a joke that we've all been adopted in a sense, Callum and I, but it's really just because we've been performing since high school together and our families are all close, and it's just been a big kind of musical moment for all of us and sitting around the table singing after school kind of thing. So that's really how it started. Yeah.
Hours and hours of working out harmony parts. It takes forever, but it's all.
We sing this again. I just can't hear it.
I can't. Yeah,
I
I
can't
can't
My
get
brain's
that.
not working.
Rehearsing the timing for the leg switch. Go. Oh, sorry. I didn't get the memo.
That's most of the show. It's just leg switches.
Like, whatever way he's leaning, I'm leaning. Whatever he's leaning, we're all leaning.
Yeah.
You know? You go with the flow. Yeah.
Do you want to say Happy Canada today to anyone?
Definitely our parents.
I want to say happy Canada Day to my mom and my dad,
Yeah.
my nieces and my nephew, my sister. I don't know, the family, man. All the Canadians who couldn't be here. Don't worry. We're doing a nice pre-party for you.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing up, guys. Leave when you're like,
Oh.
okay. I'm delighted to say we're here with Erica, who is here working the main stage. And Erica, I think of you as being someone who is pulling a thread and keeping it all together today.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I think I am that. I'm the glue, if you will. So I guess my job is to give context to what we're doing here today. So it's not just a random number of artists who are performing. There is actually a lot of thought put into the curation of these artists. The NAC did an incredible job of
Fantastic.
picking bands that really reflects the cultures across Canada.
And it's wonderful. It strikes me that it's a really cool opportunity because there are a lot of people who would have come from across London to be in Trafalgar Square today. But there are a lot of people who are just in London walking by and who say, oh, what's going on here? And all of a sudden you have the opportunity to introduce them to the beauty that is Canada.
Yeah, I think that's the whole agenda here is we know that Canada is a spectacular place to live. And we know that there is such a wealth of talent, musical talent. And so by putting on this show, we are making it free with free food, Canadian food and alcohol. And,
There's alcohol?
there is a special way that it's there. Hockey,
Yeah.
things that really speak to what Canadians are passionate about. And hopefully if people are expats or if they actually live here, they may say, you know what? I want to go to Newfoundland and meet the people, or I want to go to Queen Street in Toronto and hear the music there. So there is it's a way of creating sort of diplomatic relations between the countries, but also we're open for business and we want people who are maybe not Canadian to come and, visit us.
It's like we're fishing here today, Kev. It's like we're throwing out a hook and reeling them in, so to speak. Reeling them in. I didn't mean
How
that.
does this feel the vibe today? Like, what's the vibe when you entered the square this morning?
Well, this is, for me, incredibly exciting because Trafalgar Square is so steeped in tradition, history, and it is, it's the home of Canada outside of Canada, right beside Canada House. So for me personally, to be on stage here got goosebumps because it's I think, a huge responsibility to be in many ways the voice of Canada here in the heart of London.
How did you feel that the music industry showcase went last night?
Oh, that was fantastic. And I think people were really surprised at the breadth of talent, the different musical genres, and how good each of the artists were. And not only were the artists talented musically, but the owners of the event space that we showed
Wasn't it a great venue?
but they were shocked at how polite and efficient and talented our artists were. And we're like, yep, we are Canadian. We know how to do it.
It was very professional.
Very professional.
And we've got Biolak playing in the background right now, which is a fantastic Nova Scotia group from Cape Breton. And they are a great example because you watch them on stage and not only are they demonstrating a whole lot of talent, but there's a camaraderie and a sense of friendliness among them that's really sparks, I think, among the crowd.
Well, I feel also that a lot of these bands are literally related. They grew up in the same
That's right.
really small town and music was their language. That's what people would do. There was no internet back in the day. The music is steeped in tradition. It's really them speaking to each other. And it's interesting you mentioned Biolach because it's instrumental. There are no words, but it's the music that tells the story.
And it's glue as well, isn't it? It connects people.
That is what music and culture is. And that's why I love the fact that the National Arts Center has put together this, talented mix of music, but also they're sponsoring this. They're footing the bill to spread the word about this incredible Canadian talent. So thank you to the NAC for making it happen.
It's a huge contribution.
It is. What has been your favorite part of the day so far?
Of the day?
Yeah.
How can I have a favorite part? There's two favorite parts.
Okay.
I mean, I like to be on stage.
I love an honest woman.
Being on stage in Trafalgar Square with people yelling and screaming when you ask them to is obviously a beautiful thing. But I also love being behind the scenes and talking to all the artists and the pride that everybody has being representatives of Canada here in the heart of London. I really am so honored to be a part of this show. It's important.
Well, it may be a strange way to end this, but I would like to say thank you, not only for your contribution here today, but you have played a role throughout your life in terms of amplifying the talent of Canadian musicians. And that is a really significant contribution to the country.
Well, thank you. It's interesting because when I was on Much Music, it was the only game in town.
Oh,
So
Think
not
about it.
only was I a huge fan of music, I was very passionate about talking about it. And, my God, there's this band called U2 or there's this band called 5440. You must listen to them. And so I felt like I had a wonderful power to persuade people to listen to the music that I thought was fantastic. And it is kind of bittersweet that now there is no more Much Music and there is no sort of one unifying medium where people can find music that will sort of be their music for the rest of their lives, right? So we had it good back then.
we didn't know it, but we had it good.
That's right. And
Yeah.
because we all, no matter where we were in Canada, we had Much Music and we listened to the same music and we built a very strong star system. So instead, we do things like this, where we have smaller events and then hopefully we use social media to amplify. So tell everybody about Canada Day in London.
Grassroots, baby.
Happy Canada Day.
Thank you, Erica, so much.
You're so welcome.
We're here with Michael Sussman, who's the CEO of Sussman Corporate Security, and he's a very important player here today, Kev.
He's very important. He was my latest guest on the Kevjet series Run Up to Canada Day London. Why are you so excited to be involved with Canada Day?
To me, it's such a positive experience, and it's so important for us to be able to share our values and culture on the world stage. So for me to participate in this is kind of what I'm about and what my business is about. I think, personal relationships are so critical, and this is an opportunity for people to meet and share themselves and also learn about Canada.
Can I ask a question about that? Because, when people hear that you work in security, they might not necessarily jump to the conclusion that it's all about relationships. And I'm fascinated to talk about why.
So it's interesting. Look, security means that something bad doesn't happen. So anything that can prevent something bad from happening is what creates security. And I travel a lot for business. And one of the things that I've been saying, I've been in Canada really almost consistently for the last 5-6 months, is Americans say they celebrate living in freedom, but Canadians really live in security and stability. And I think that's such a unique thing. And I think also what's unique, just to tie that into here, is London is so multicultural like Canada, and we have people at Canada Day from all over the world. And it isn't like they're learning about our culture. It's that even here, they're a part of our culture. And I think that's something very unique.
Is a big part of your job education in a way, teaching people about security?
It is. And it is. And it's explaining to people that if we know what can happen, that we don't want to happen, we can take steps to prevent it. And often those steps can involve more planning and strategy than it does involve actually high level investing. So yes, we do that. And just, for our business, one of the things that we emphasize is we do a lot of workshops for operators and also leadership and executives. So everyone knows what they need to do and understand what they need to do to help create security and stability.
Preparation, you prepare for the worst and you hope for the best.
Yeah, I think that is a really good point, and that is part of it. One of the ways I like to look at it is saying, well, this is what our goal is. This is how we want to get to our goal, like with our values. These are the things that may interrupt it. So what can we do to kind of go as close as we can on our straight line? And then if something kind of veers off, how do we get to pull it right back to the center and keep going?
How did you get involved with Kevjet and the folks here with Canada Day in London?
I'm very lucky. So my partner was the former ambassador of Canada to the United Arab Emirates, and she was a career diplomat, and we met in the UAE, and she was the chairwoman of Canada Day. So I was lucky, and my life has kind of been spent in this type of environment. So it was sort of very serendipitous, because as a Canadian and a Canadian company, it was allowing me to be able to fulfill what I do in my life, but do it in a way and share it positively with London and all these nice people here.
I told him you could be his publicist, probably. You raved about him.
I did. And we were listening to your interview in the car on the way in. But I'd like to just mention that this VIP tent is you. So is that your way of bringing people together?
Yeah, it is, and I'm so glad to do the VIP tent. But as I see it, it actually is part of this whole event here, and everyone whether it's the people that are sponsoring, whether it's the people that are doing the setup, whether it's people who are doing the interviews, everyone is playing a really critical role in what I see as the mission of sharing Canada and really sharing what's so positive about Canada. So I'm honored for the VIP tent, but more just to see how well this event goes. And I'll say lastly that I've been a part of this this is our third year sponsoring. It's been going on or re-going on for 3 years. And every year it's getting more and more mature. And it's just so nice to see.
It goes back to what you were saying about relationship. This is what's happening. You look at all these great conversations taking place, people learning about one another and talking presumably about how much they love our country.
Yeah. Absolutely. And what's so unique is it's people that come from all different backgrounds and everyone's together celebrating and doing it in a Canadian sort of way where everyone is united and together. And I think that's just such a special thing. And I think that those interactions really showcase what Canada's about.
Amazing. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Our next guest wants to go by Fred, but he has to be introduced properly because he is not just Fred, he is a very important person in Newfoundland and Labrador.
Well, I don't know about that, but my title is the Minister of Tourism, Culture, Arts, and Recreation. At the office, we just call it TCAR.
That's what I wanted. He's a Minister of TCAR, so don't mess with him. Thank you so much for being here today.
Well, you can mess a bit, have some fun. It's Canada Day.
Uh-oh, Kevin, don't tell him that.
I thought it was Kevjet Day.
What is most exciting about you in terms of being part of this amazing event, Canada Day in London?
So the UK and Newfoundland and Labrador have about a 500-year history with each other, right? I was lucky enough to work in media, and back in 1997, we celebrated the quincentenary, the 500th anniversary of John Cabot coming from Bristol, England, over to Bonavista, and, finding there was folks already there, of course, but bringing the English colonies there. We have this really strong history with the UK. If you go anywhere in the province, you're likely to see some sort of British reference or UK reference, a street name, the John Guy Ferry, the Sir Humphrey Gilbert Building, King George V soccer pitch, Cabot Street. I mean, I could go on. And
They left behind a lot of street signs.
but we also have shared people back and forth over those 500 years. So it's really quite something special. And we want to continue to grow on that, to build on that.
How did the partnership happen between you and Canada Day?
So we tied it in this year, Kevin, with the Canada-UK Business Summit. So our Minister of Immigration is here, and our Minister of Industry, Energy and Technology as well. I mean, you know, look, technology has made the world this really small place. It was already a pretty small place, but now that we've got, these connections that I've talked about, the 500-year history, we want to continue to grow that. We've got so much going on in Newfoundland right now in terms of our oil, hydrogen, wind, different aspects and technology that we can share knowledge and share people. But of course, people like to travel as well. So from my perspective, the tourism aspect of it is a no-brainer, to continue to build on that relationship.
It seems to me that so many people think of Newfoundland as a fun place to go and a great party, which is wonderful to be associated with that kind of energy. But part of your job is to help people understand it's so much more.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've got some serious aspects as well, obviously. But we are known as a fun-loving, the Canadians in general, as you know, you're both from Nova Scotia, and you somewhat similar, reputation around the world.
Hospitality, friendliness.
The aspect of it. I mean, just think back to 9/11, when one of the darkest days in our history, in recent history, 8,000 people show up in Gander and there's nowhere to stay. And people were literally opening their doors and saying, come on in, get a shower, sleep. We'll get you something to eat. What do you need? You need shave cream? You need deodorant? Whatever. We'll get it for you. We'll do it. And everybody was like, they couldn't believe this. It becomes a play that goes to Broadway. And, but that's just generally who we are, right?
It's not just a play that went to Broadway. It's a play that took the world by storm.
There was a couple of other places, Australia and London and across Canada as well.
And left people just feeling so warm-hearted and excited about being human. That's the beautiful thing about Come From Away, I think, is that it delivered that Newfoundland charm and friendliness to the whole world.
I couldn't agree with you more, Nancy. I mean, honestly, but it's not even like it's a contrived thing. It's just generally people are friendly, right? And most of the people who leave remark on that. And I've bumped into a couple of people that we've talked to in our travel trade partners here this week during the business summit. And they say that's one of the things. They bring their tour operators there for their fam tours for familiarization, because you can sell it if you've seen it and touched it, right? And they say, like, the friendly people, it's just crazy. You're walking down the street and you say, everybody says, what are you at? Or hello, or gives you a nod. Where you from, buddy? That kind of stuff. That really goes a long way. This friendliness of everybody feeling welcome. Even if they've got no skin in the game, they're not they're not hosting you. They're not driving you. They're just saying hi to you on the street. What are you at?
You forgot. Who's your father?
Yeah, who's your father? Or who need you?
Oh, I don't know that one.
And if you say, yes, bye. Right?
I love that.
Yes, bye.
Yes, bye.
Thank you so much.
It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So fun.
And happy Canada Day to everybody at home. Take care.
Welcome, Gerry, to Trafalgar Square for Canada Day.
It's amazing to be here. Canada Day London, the whole Canada Day celebration. It has a special feel for us here in Newfoundland and Labrador, for Newfoundlanders and Labradorians, because we not only celebrate Canada's birthday, but it's also a very, very bittersweet commemoration of our drive, the July 1st drive on Beaumont Hamel. So this is our Memorial Day and our Canada Day celebrating the great country of Canada.
Amazing. To be a part of this.
I have never seen the energy of this ever. And so to be witness to it, to be part of it, to see and reinvigorate the connection between Canada and the UK, between Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada's newest, coolest province, but Britain's oldest colony. We've got a connection here that's worth celebrating.
Byrne, you are the Minister of Jobs, Immigration and Growth, which is a very convenient title for Newfoundland.
It is. We do the jig. Jobs, immigration, and growth. We celebrate everything we do. But, Nancy, this is a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of work for us. You see a gang behind us that are just, they're working the crowd. They're getting the information out about what Newfoundland and Labrador is within the Canadian family. broadcasting, projecting to the UK. So we're here on a working tour, but we're having a little fun while we do it.
Well, that's the Newfoundland way, isn't it? And Gerry, I want to say as well that in some ways, Newfoundland's not a very hard sell, and not only because you're basically the Canadian neighbors to the UK.
Well, you know what? It's we've got a time change advantage in that, UKers that want to come here only have it's a 4-hour trip now because we have direct flights between Gatwick and St. John's International. The time change is only 3.5 hours. It's a lot more sturdy. You got to be sturdier elsewhere.
Take your advantage where you find it.
Amen. But he also, there's something about the connection between Newfoundland and Labrador and the UK, and not only in terms of history, but I think there's an attraction in Atlantic Canada and in Newfoundland and Labrador that UKers, Brits want to come see.
You're excited as part of Canada and London that they're such a big sponsor of this.
We are. The Maritimes, Newfoundland. I mean, come on, we have to show them how to party.
Well, you know what? They're pretty good at it themselves, but we can augment that talent, is what we could say.
So what about being screeched in the square?
Well, you've got to be in Newfoundland, and that's the pitch. That is the pitch. You've got to be in Newfoundland to get that job done.
He doesn't have Newfoundland roots like I do, Gerry. Okay, he doesn't know about that rule.
Start a new tradition in Trafalgar Square.
Well, it's kind of
he might get thrown in jail. He's a minister, but he could still be, disciplined by the Newfoundland authorities.
Especially the proof of screech is pretty high. So, it's there you go. But we could declare this sovereign ground maybe. Just for today, this is sovereign Canadian ground, Newfoundland and Labrador ground. So the rules might not necessarily apply.
Just the tent. Here.
Exactly. What are you most looking forward to today?
It's the fun. It's making the connection with people. It's really, when you consider the magnitude of the world of Canada, the magnitude of Canada, getting the word out about a small place within Canada, but a mighty place, Newfoundland and Labrador. It's that connection to people that's already got me really excited and energized. And that connection with you two today. Amazing.
And Gerry, it's pretty easy to market Newfoundland in some ways, isn't it? Because it's just so incredible.
It's got a lot of things going for it. It's got a timeless history with our Indigenous people. It's got a modern history with our new industries, but it's also got a UK feel in our cities. In St. John's being the oldest city in North America with the oldest sporting events, St. John's is kind of, if you look at the street map, it's a little piece of old London. So it's we've got a lot to offer.
Good pitch, really good pitch. Thank you so much.
Nancy, it's wonderful. Kevin, thank you.
Crystal, cheers to Canada Day.
Cheers to Canada Day.
We did it again.
It's like a Canadian debrief.
It is a Canadian debrief, eh?
At 3.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 3 years in a row now.
Jeez. It was a good one. It was hot. The weather cooperated.
Hot.
But it was hot.
Hot. Yeah.
In all the senses as well.
Yeah.
Like it was. It was. So let's start big. How does it feel seeing Canada Day London grow into such a massive celebration right in the heart of Trafalgar Square?
Yeah, I mean, when we started this 3 years ago, we had ambitions, and I think 2025 it finally came to fruition. It was, again, it's not just Trafalgar Square. It was 4 days of events in London. 2 days at Canada House, 1 day at St. Martin in the Fields and the crypt of the church, and then Trafalgar Square is kind of the culmination of the week. And it was, the crowd, the vibe, the energy this year was everything we dreamed about in 2023 when we relaunched this. It was absolutely incredible year. It was wild, absolutely wild experience.
I think for me, the night at the crypt, the night before, seeing the people play in that just intimate venue got me so excited.
Yeah.
Like I didn't sleep that night because I couldn't wait to see them on the big stage.
That's you're referring to obviously the UK music market session we do in partnership with the High Commission of Canada and supported by the government of Ontario this year. We've done that event 2 years now where we've brought the bands in front of the music industry, but before it was in like the basement of a pub or at Canada House. And this year it got elevated to big time where it wasn't just meet and greets, but the live performances in the crypt of a church. Mm-hmm. And I was smitten. You were smitten. The government of Newfoundland, who was there watching Rum Ragged play, were smitten. That was really cool. But to see I think all 7 bands perform that night, all 15-minute sets. And I think 2 things to take away from that. Number one, our excitement, but even way cooler was the bands all got to know each other.
Yeah.
And so when we were at Trafalgar Square the following day, it was almost like, old friends, one day, fine. But, the bands were all really comfortable with each other, having met each other all the night before. It broke the ice. I got to meet all the bands as well, too.
Yeah, everyone got to know each other.
Yeah.
It was quite fun.
Yeah, it was a really cool experience, and one I really hope we get to build upon.
Did you have a moment in Trafalgar Square where you were like, wow, we've really done it this year?
I mean, every year I do the same thing. Right before the gates open at 12, I stand on the staircase that kind of goes up to the north part of the terrace, and you get to kind of take a lay of the land, and it's before the people come in, you get to kind of see it. Trafalgar Square and its perfect beauty. There's no garbage. There's no people. Everything's set up. Floors are swept. And everything's clean. You just take a look at the landscape of what you'd kind of be able to build. And obviously Canada House and the maple leaves flying everywhere. You can see Big Ben, from the North Terrace as well too. And you kind of get this it's just a wild experience. You kind of look over, you see the line of people waiting to get in. For me, that's like the special moment almost. Where
do you ever feel concerned? Do you ever feel worried that, my God, are people going to turn up?
Nah, because we got enough beer. We got beer, we got food, we got music, we got hockey. I mean, it's if people don't show up to that, me and my friends will have a good time.
Exactly. It'll be a great party. What were some of the biggest hurdles in bringing this celebration to life, and how did you push through?
Well, I mean, it was obviously, the global economics this year would made things really, really tough. I mean, it's not a secret what was the world's facing with global trade issues. We're a not-for-profit festival, and it's a free event to attend, 100% paid for by sponsors. A couple had to withdraw because of what was going on in the Canadian global economy. And what are you going to do but accept it, And it was a really tough, stressful year. Until, in the 11th hour there, when Newfoundland and Labrador came in and saved the festival and saved the party and brought it to a whole new level, I have to say. What a special province that is.
It was so fun. It was so fun. And the people from Newfoundland were so fun as well.
Yeah.
And they loved it.
They came out in full force too, right? And, they spent 4 days with us, right? They were with us with the business summit. They were at the National Day reception meeting the government. They were there at the music showcase in the crypt in force, cheering on Rum Ragged again. I know I mentioned it before. And then on Trafalgar Square, they had a huge presence, I still have a little puffin from the Canada's Happy Place, I think it says. What an amazing province to align with. And, they had a really good experience too, which was really cool.
They loved it. They loved it. Do you have one moment from that day that will stick with you forever? Only one.
One moment. I think, Oh Canada at the very, very end when there's a photo of us all kind of arm in arm, and you're up on there too. And I brought some of my friends from up on stage and some people who were, close around the community. Some of our sponsors are up there as well too. And Erica M obviously leading it and Alex Van Beck belting out the Canadian anthem, and you're just reverberating across. And I mean, I'm getting goosebumps right now again, like the same thing. But
I love that video keeps getting reshared and reshared.
Yeah.
And every time it comes up on my feed, I'm like, oh my God, that is amazing.
Yeah. Like it's like the way that event ended with them. But then I also remember like right after it ended and, everyone left the stage and we were kind of cleaning up and this couple came up to me and they had a poster that said Arkells and Hamilton or University of Hamilton. They're like, can you take this backstage and get it signed? And I'm like, sure. And so I ran backstage and grabbed a few of the Arkells and they all autographed the sign that said something about Hamilton and came back and gave it to this young couple. And they were like, oh my God. And it was like that, like, little experiences like
those
that.
Those are the special things. I love those little things where people didn't know happened.
Yeah. I mean, even like, one of the beauties of running the event is I get to go backstage. And while the Arkells were on, I met a lovely lady too in the crowd who just loved the Arkells. I was like, do you want to come on stage and see them? And I gave her a backstage pass. We went around and we kind of pulled up on the stage and she watched one of the songs of the show. And then we took her back into the crowd and, being able to give Canadians special experiences like that and being, you wouldn't get that experience back home watching Arkells and like Hamilton, the stadium tour, whenever I've seen them. So it's the things like that about making people happy. And
it is. It's not just a party. It's a cultural moment.
Yeah.
What kind of impact do you hope that Canada Day London leaves the world, not just London? Well,
this year we took a new approach to, one of the things I was really fun was the Canada Food Festival that McCain Food sponsored. I had the privilege last year of traveling from, I was in Prince Edward Island, I was in Quebec, I was in Nova Scotia, I was in British Columbia and Alberta and Ontario. And And I kind of saw Canada's different food regions. And so this year we took a new approach to how we served and showcased the food of Canada. And when we finally dug into Canada on the surface, what are we? Burgers and nachos and wings. But when you really dig into, okay, Quebec has poutine, we all know, but we started looking at, provincial menus. Alberta, big on the beef industry, burgers. British Columbia, where I'm from, the Nanaimo bars and seafood, so fish and chips. From Atlantic Canada, the lobster rolls. And I think showcasing to the world that Canada is more of a foodie scene than just poutine.
And I think
more than your poutine.
Definitely. But I think this year you got it right.
Yeah. It was really fun to produce that.
Yeah.
So showing the taste of Canada was really important. But then we also put a lot of work into the music, right? The music of Canada Day is obviously one of the main drivers, but we really looked hard for bands who brought a unique flair to it. So the Atlantic Canada Celtic music, the French traditional fiddle music, the West Coast music where I'm from again. Even talking about it was like, this band is from this region and why they're playing this music. We're starting to show Canada being more of a diversity, is that a word? Culturally diverse country, and not just one coast to coast thing, but we do have unique parts of our country, and to be able to show that off in London on the global stage is really cool.
Did you have a moment in the square where you thought, what have I done? How has it got this big?
Nope. I'm more like, how do I make it bigger? No, not at all. I mean, my team, and especially Cassidy, who I produced the event with, she allows me to dream big. And she actually really reins me in. The things I wish I could do, that I'm not allowed to do. Well, that's also the Greater London Authority won't let me do certain things because it's Trafalgar Square. That's no, I think it's exciting what we've built, and every year you just want to do bigger, better, more exciting.
Did you ever think how does throwing a Canadian party require so many permits?
You know what? It's London. It's one of the greatest cities in the world. It's one of the oldest cities in the world. Like I tell my team that when it comes to producing this event, if there's a screw up, it's not just that the city knows, the world knows.
Yeah.
So we need to making sure everything is really safe, secure environment. So we put a lot of effort into making sure everything is triple checked for safety. Lots of security guards on site. Everything is run professionally and properly, because I don't want to be written up in the global about a beer incident in Trafalgar Square because the Canadians run leashed,
If you had a dollar, let's say a loonie, for every Canadian flag you saw in the square that day, would you own the square?
It's London. I mean, I wish. Maybe in a few more years.
Yeah, the exchange rate is that.
No. When you take that into account, no.
It was great. So many people came with the flags wrapped around.
Yeah. I mean, we had tens of thousands of people there. Again, I think I saw the statistics the other day. It was 50% Canadian of the crowd, and some of the video footage, even on CBC. Oh my God, CBC spent the day there with us. They did 4 live clips throughout the day back home. And I know I'm going off topic here, but I remember my former CEO was like, I got a text message during the day. He was in Calgary. Hey, Wes. He's like, I'm having my morning coffee, John, and you're on my TV. Like, what's going on over there? I was smitten about that one that, CBC covered us coast to coast this year. But in some of the other footage, they're showing just British people who just love Canada being there. And, they're there to support our country because they love our country. Mm-hmm. And that to me is another one of the big wins.
Part of the fun is the people who randomly walk into the square.
Yeah. Yeah. You get some of those lucky people who just stumble like, what's happening in London today? There's always something happening in London. Yeah. When they stumble upon Canada Day, it's good to show them a good sliver of what our beautiful country is about, and hope that they travel there and get to experience it firsthand.
Was there any type of disaster leading up to the day or on the day that you're looking back at now, kind of laughing about?
No. Maybe Kevjet's hair that day.
I know. It was hot. It was difficult to manage.
No, I mean, it was, and once again, thank you to Cassidy and the ops team. It was.
So maybe I fixed my hair one time.
It ran smooth. I mean, the only thing we couldn't control was how bloody hot it was. Yeah.
But we can't complain.
No. Well, we can. We're Canadian and British. It's interesting. Some of the people were complaining to me there wasn't enough shade, and I was like, well, it's Trafalgar Square. I had open
square. Yeah.
But, as far, there's no major crises. There's a couple of people from the hot weather, but again, we had an emergency team on site, and we should probably not talk about this one because kind of a bone to pick with this group.
Who had the best dance moves on the day?
Oh, ends or people?
People.
I can't say I really saw it. I was so busy running around like producing that.
I would have to be you, and I have to say it's going to be televised in a few months.
But, by the time the Arkells were on, I was having a good time listening to the band, and that point, the event was over. It was the last band, so I probably was dancing and being very, very joyful and happy.
It was wonderful. I mean, everyone was having, and that's what the whole day is about. And finally, if Canada Day London was a person, what kind of personality would it have? Be honest, chaotic good, or well-meaning overachiever.
Kind of good, just like me. I mean, that's an easy one. I like to think Trafalgar Square is a direct reflection of my personality. I think you see it. It's chaos. It's fun. It's lively. It's high energy. It's friendly. It hugs everybody. It's very inclusive of everybody, and it's just a good time.
On the day, do you feel? Is there a stress level, or do you just feel like, okay, this is happening right now, and I'm just going to enjoy it?
Well, I mean, okay, so I've done events for 15 years now, and it's one of the things. Once the doors open, like the machine is happening.
Yeah.
There's really nothing you can do but fix the mistakes behind the scenes that nobody else sees. Other than that, everything's ready to go.
Yeah.
So you can't get stressed out anymore. You just problems arise. You just deal with the problem and move on to the next one. And really, what event production really is fixing problems for 8 hours while everyone's having a good time. Thankfully, this year wasn't too bad.
You have a great team, and the team sort of manages all of that.
They sure do.
Yeah.
And they do a really good job. And they manage me, which is the bigger job. But there's so many moving parts and so many things goes on, and you spend a year planning it, and you have, even our contractors, we probably have 30 people on site who are reporting to, up the pyramid, and you just got to let it go and let things happen. As long as you're prepared for any kind of bad disasters, and which don't happen, thankfully, because everyone's so, we bring in a really good team around us. It used to be nerve-wracking, but it's not anymore.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, Kevin.
See you next Canada Day.
Next Canada Day.
Cheers.